Are you ready to create a life you crave? Let's spin that doom loop of negativity into an upward success cycle and start living lucky. I'm Jana.
I'm Jason.
And we are living lucky.
As always.
I love that. Say hello to us. We want to connect with you. We've had a very interesting conversation this morning. We've been talking about screen time. You know, when you get those messages on your phone that says your screen time has increased by 77%. And you're like, what? Like they're
That's
lying.
Crazy. I was
they're
not
lying.
on the screen very much last week.
Right? I would say, no, it was just in my purse. And maybe my lipstick accidentally hit the screen or something.
I forgot to exit YouTube yesterday.
Right, which Jason does on purpose.
I have
just
done
to
that.
get more views. Good morning. David, what's up?
Patrick.
Okay, so this morning we're talking about screen time. And the reason we bring this up is at our TEDx event, one of the speakers, Becky Curry, she had this talk about screen time versus green time. Green time is just getting out in nature.
Right?
Yes.
And I can tell you just from the time when I would go to work back in corporate days, and even now, sometimes I get caught up in the doing and I forget that my soul calls me to go outside and be in nature.
Okay, I'm with you there, but I have a little bit of a different take on this because I enjoy my screen time. I enjoy my zone out and let's binge a whole series in one day. I enjoy that time. Like that is for me is very calming and relaxing. Is there anyone else that can relate to that?
I love some Westerns too.
No, not Westerns. I'm not talking Westerns.
I love a long series of The Rifleman.
No,
just as much
every
as
now and
else.
then, though, I find a good series and I'm like, oh, I just want to binge the whole thing. And I don't mind having 8 hours of TV time. And so I understand. I think there's somewhere in the middle. I think balance and awareness are key.
I think you just nailed it. And that's the key is I would get caught up in pouring myself into feeling like I'm back in the rat race or feeling like I'm in the rat race. And I would forget to be in my routine of going out for that 30-minute walk around the pond, going out and just having my lunch outside.
Okay, so I think what we've really said is we struggle with this. Does anyone else struggle with this? Because I really feel that we all tend to go to our phones. I know that even just when people are around, sometimes when I'm tired of talking to people, like at our last family event, when I got tired of talking to people, I kind of went over in the corner and I didn't have anything on my phone to even look at. I didn't have any emails. I didn't have any texts. I had nothing to look at. So I started playing word search. You know, like I just needed my own little bubble.
It's Alice's little rabbit hole to escape from whatever.
And I'm not sure this is a good thing. Am I alone here?
No. You see it everywhere.
And so the TED Talk from Becky Curry was that she asked very poignant questions like, when was the last time you went outside and dug a hole with your hands? Now, Sheila, I know your answer to that is going to be 15 minutes ago.
That's right.
I was working in the garden.
At a minimum, it was yesterday.
Right? So I know for some people that answer is a no-brainer. But for me, I was thinking about that. I have not dug my hands in the dirt in a very long time. I think I planted a plant
a couple months ago.
Yeah,
and it's still alive.
Months ago, it is still alive. It needs a new planter, and the reason that I don't want to put it in a bigger planter is because I don't want to get my hands dirty.
And you love the pot.
And I love the pot that it's in. So I'm like purposely keeping it in a small pot so that it can't grow, which I know it's eventually going to die because that happened to me. in my life.
That's right. You got kept in a smaller pot. And you outgrew the area.
Rob says, sorry I missed your TED Talk. No worries. Even though, Rob, I specifically had a point in my talk where I turned and I said, isn't that right, Rob?
That's
and
right.
then you weren't in the audience.
And the seat that was taped off for Rob still said Rob on it.
Reserved for Rob. I'm just kidding with you. I am just joking. Although we were in your hometown, and I think we drove by your bird bath with the sand cranes standing in front of it. So I really enjoyed Eustis. That was
it's a beautiful
really
area.
cute town. But today we're talking about green time. So are you getting outside? Are you getting with nature? Or do you prefer screen time?
Yeah. Is your green time literally the walk from the front door to the car?
That's for most people. I think that is for most people. Yeah, I want to say something. I feel like, and I think I've even said it. I think I've even said it that our attention span has shortened and that we no longer have the same attention span that we used to. Have we said this? We've had this conversation, right?
You said it.
And that
I've said it.
attention
I've heard
is
it.
currency. We've had that
Attention is currency.
conversation. But I'm starting to think that we don't have an attention problem because, like I just said 10 minutes ago, I can watch a series on one of these streaming services, not a Western. Then I have an attention problem. But I can binge watch 8 hours of television and I don't have an attention problem. And I think it's the same for kids when they're playing their video games. They don't have an attention problem. So what is it? Have we become addicted to entertainment, television?
Well, there's plenty of entertainment in nature. And the thing is, what's funny is what she was saying in her TED Talk is that when you get out in nature, it involves all your senses. But you have to kind of get your senses involved because we get so addicted to like eyesight and your like your fingers and just that kind of communication right there, and that's it. But when you get in nature, you get to listen, you get to smell, you can feel the wind. And those are things that you're not really experiencing when you're sitting on your phone trying to shoot something up, or you're trying to navigate, or you're trying to pick a word. Now, there are cognitive games that we get involved in, like Wordle. You see people posting
before you
their
move
Wordle
on,
all the time.
I do think, though, that people go outside and they aren't doing that.
No, they're not.
They're not
We're walking from our door to the car, or we might even just be sitting outside eating a lunch.
So here's a tool. Here's a tool that we all can use. It's called the 5 senses tool. And when you are outside, because I have used this before, I learned this from Martha Beck, and I think Emily Fletcher
we do it every morning in Emily
well.
Fletcher in our meditation.
But she says, see what you see, hear what you hear, smell what you smell, taste what you taste, and feel what you feel. And so when you go through the 5 senses and you really intentionally pay attention to what it is that you are seeing, pay attention to what you're hearing, pay attention to what you're smelling, pay attention to what you're tasting, pay attention to what you're feeling. And then once you go through that whole process, then you try to do it all at the same time.
Or start mixing them up, start kind of doing your little combos.
Yeah,
and then do it all together.
You say, okay, now I'm going to see what I'm seeing and hear what I'm hearing at the same time. And it really puts you in a micro now. It really puts you in the now, and it helps you enjoy nature, because I think
it helps you escape the past, escape the future, like the stress of the future, and then get in the now and really just kind of enjoy that.
Because as we're talking about this,
that's where I get lost.
I feel like, like when I binge watch, which I'm totally admitting I have this problem.
Everybody,
really
I think if you haven't had that problem, if you don't enjoy binge watching on occasion, let us know.
It feels good because you're like, oh, I've got 8 hours. And I mean, even after this episode, I got to watch the next one. And you just let go of the stress, and you don't have to think about your life. You get lost in the imagination of somebody else's story.
Because I've seen you get lost binge watching a book too.
Yeah.
It's been a while, but there's been a couple books that you've been like, every day I would come home and you would be like,
Yeah.
this is a good book.
Yeah, usually when there's sex involved. Those are my kind. I'm kidding, Mom. I'm kidding.
She's not. She's not kidding. She's just saying that.
Actually, when I was younger, my parents just encouraged me to read. And my dad told me, he said, I don't care if you read Danielle Steele, as long as you're reading. So I was the only fourth grader that would show up to school, and I had like these smutty books during reading time.
That explains
and Mr. Burge,
so much.
Mr. Burge would be like, what are you reading, Jana? And I'd be like, I don't know if I should tell you.
I don't know, but what is organism? Because she keeps having these organisms.
Oh my
and
God.
lustful touching.
Oh, that's so
Why does
that's
lustful
so bad.
touching lead to organisms?
That's so bad. Oh my gosh. Lori's here. Lori says, so true, so true. I love this sweater and banana earrings. Oh, don't they have appeal?
I see what you did there. Slippery slope.
Okay, so I think the biggest key or takeaway or the insight maybe that I've had just from our conversation this morning is being aware.
Yeah. Just know what you're doing. Like, and I think set intentions. Like if nature's important to you,
then go outside.
Like see if that's something that fills your cup. Because I think some of us have forgotten.
Not only see, but hear and smell and taste and feel. And be intentional when you're outside of engaging all of the senses so that it is almost entertaining.
And ask your 6-year-old self, ask your 7-year-old self if that's something that they loved. Because your 6-year-old and 7-year-old self is still in there. And they're going, why don't we still go outside? Why don't we go outside anymore?
Oh, look, Augie's here with us.
Hey,
Augie. Augie just got back from Trinidad.
Is he back yet?
I think so. I think he's back, and he delivered 280 wheelchairs to that area. I saw some of the pictures. Phenomenal. It looked phenomenal. So Augie and his wife, Audrey, they were part of our Nicaragua trip, and they go on all of the Chair the Love trips. All of them.
Yeah.
All of them.
All of them they can, and it's a pretty rigorous schedule right now for them. They're gonna need a break soon.
Yes. Okay, guys. Let's see. A couple intentions is key to lucky life. That is so true. Setting our intentions and just being aware, living in the now.
Tater's smelling what she can smell right now.
Oh,
she was. No, she wasn't smelling that.
Back it up, Shelfer. Back it up. Beep, beep. Okay, guys, have a great day. Thank you for joining us. Oh, Christy's here too. Such an awesome topic. Working to refine my happy.
It's there.
You know what? I can help you with that. Give me a call later. Okay? Bye-bye. If the idea of living lucky appeals to you, visit us at startlivinglucky.com.